Montgomery County is changing fast. New transit, new parks, new schools, major redevelopments. So if you live here or you're thinking about moving here, this video is your cheat sheet to find out what's new and what's coming soon. Today I'm hitting the biggest updates that you'll actually feel day to day. Free buses, the Purple Line, new trails and parks, bus rapid transit, what's breaking ground in Silver Spring, North Bethesda, and Gaithersburg. 3 high schools opening in 2027. The county's new missing middle zoning. Quick homeowner landlord notes on ADUs and radon, and the Beltway projects. Plus, the latest on White's Ferry. And stick around until the end for a lightning glossary so you can decode every acronym like a local. So let's dive right in. All right, let's start with the headlines that everybody asked me about. Free buses and what's not free. You can now ride Montgomery County's local buses for free. You just hop on, no payment. This started June 29th, 2025. If you ride often, this is hundreds of dollars a year back in your pocket. That includes Ride On Extra, limited stop routes, the Ride On Flex On Demand shuttles, and Flash. That's the county's bus rapid transit brand. All went zero fare starting June 29th, 2025. Quick tidbit, the county opted for zero fares in part because replacing aging fare boxes would have cost around $22 million more than recent fare revenue. One important nuance, Metrobus, that's WMATA's regional bus, still charges $2.25 base fare. So if your bus says Metrobus, you pay. If it says Ride On, it's free. If you have students in the house, Kids Ride Free continues. Montgomery County residents 5 to 18 use a Youth Cruiser Smart Trip card for free rides on Ride On and participating Metrobus routes here. In 2026, that Youth Cruiser card becomes required on Metrobus to verify the free trip. So grab one now at libraries and schools. If you're staying around downtown Bethesda, the Bethesda Circulator is also free and runs every 10 to 15 minutes. It's handy for quick hops to the metro, garages, and restaurants. And in Silver Spring, Van Gogh, Ride on Route 28, is a free circulator through downtown Silver Spring's Arts District. So quick glossary as we go. Flash, or BRT, is the bus rapid transit, bigger stations, faster boarding, and on later phases, more dedicated lanes. WMATA, Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, runs the Metro Rail and the Metro Bus. Next up is Metro's Better Bus changes that you'll notice. WMATA, or WMATA, just launched the first full Metrobus network redesign in almost 50 years on June 29th, 2025. Every route name changed, stop spacing was tightened, and frequency shifted to prioritize busy corridors. Expect different letters, numbers on signs. Maryland routes now have an M prefix, and some stops consolidated to speed trips. Ride On did its redesign the same day, but remember, Ride On is free. Real talk, the rollout did have some growing pains. Some removed stops, and mislabeling created some headaches. But Metro adjusts in the regular December-July updates. So here's a pro tip. Check your route's new profile before Monday morning and use Trip Planner or Metro Pulse while you relearn the system. And like I said, Metro does these follow-up tweaks during the standard December-July updates. Next up, we have faster buses are coming. Here's some Flash corridor updates. Remember, Flash is the county's brand for bus rapid transit. Think bigger stations, off-board payments, and dedicated or priority lanes where possible. So here's what's happening. US 29, which is Colesville Road, Columbia Pike. Phase 2 is in preliminary engineering now to add median bus lanes between Sligo Creek Parkway and Tech Road. That's the upgrade that makes Flash feel more rapid. Fun fact, station platforms are designed to speed all door boarding, so Flash can feel like the light rail on rubber tires. Also, Veers Mill Road, Maryland 586. Flash is finishing final design in 2025. The Veers Mill Road Flash will be a new transit service connecting Wheaton and Rockville with 12 stations along Veers Mill Road and Maryland 355. Flash service on Veers Mill Road will provide faster and more reliable transit service connecting riders to housing, jobs, the MARC train, and the Metro Rail Red Line. The Veers Mill Road Flash will also include bicycle and pedestrian improvements like continuous sidewalks and safer crossings. The county starts property acquisition and utility work in 2025 with main construction beginning 2026. Expect about 12 stations from Rockville to Wheaton. On Maryland 355, Flash, Rockville Pike, Wisconsin Avenue is advancing through environmental and project development now. Final design is slated for 2026 to 2027 2027 and construction for 2028 through 2031, starting with the middle segment first. They propose to implement a 10.6-mile bus rapid transit BRT line in the Maryland 355 corridor between Rockville and Germantown, with buses operating in dedicated transit lanes for approximately 55% of the project length and a mixed traffic for the remainder. Here's a tip: set email alerts on the county project pages so you don't miss the first service notices. Okay, let's talk about the Purple Line and the Capitol Crescent Trail. The Purple Line is a 16-mile, 21-station light rail by the Maryland Transit Administration connecting Bethesda to Silver Spring to College Park to New Carrollton. It's now reported over 80% complete and still targeting a 2027 opening window. Here's a quick tip. The Purple Line lets you jump between Metro's red, green, and orange lines and connect to Mark Penn at New Carrollton and Mark Camden at College Park for fewer cross-country car trips. Here's the part that hikers and cyclists ask me about often. The Capitol Crescent Trail between Bethesda and Silver Spring is part of the package, creating a safe, continuous crossing at the heart of downtown. It is forecast to reopen in spring of 2026 before the rail service starts. That includes the new Bethesda tunnel connection under Wisconsin Avenue. No more sprinting across Maryland 355. The county has also been building the Capitol Crescent Surface Trail and related bikeway upgrades downtown. Next up, we got North Bethesda, Project Connect, new metro entrance, and a life science hub. North Bethesda is getting a major station area makeover called Project Connect. Funded improvements will add a second north metro entrance with new plazas to cut walk times for Pike and Rose and nearby offices, better bike walk connections, and prep for future BRT. On the development side, WMATA selected Hines as master developer for the 13.9-acre joint development site next to the station, anchored by University of Maryland's Institute for Health Computing, UMIHC, with a life sciences focus. Little tidbit, that north entrance is the project's keystone and should shave minutes off Pike and Rose walks. Also next door at Pike and Rose, 935 Pros is bringing approximately 260,000 square feet of purpose-built lab space to extend the biotech corridor into North Bethesda. Next update. Silver Spring, Tasty Diner lives on in a new tower. The landmark Tasty Diner dining car is staying on site while the corner redevelops into a mixed-use tower. Recent plans approved a approximate 312-foot, approximately 493-unit building with the historic diner car preserved and incorporated with room for a grocer. Fun fact, the diner car dates to 1946 and was actually moved in the year 2000 to save it. Now it's going to be the marquee of the new plaza. Next update, Lakeforest Mall, 100-acre reboot in Gaithersburg. The Lakeforest Mall site is being reborn as a mixed-use district. The city approved a plan calling for around 1,600 homes plus 1.2 million square feet of commercial recreation space. Final site plans for the first phases, infrastructure and streets, were submitted in May of 2025. Demolition and early site work are underway, advancing through 2025 steps. What happens first? Storm drains and pond reshaping, phase 1, then the first new streets, Street 1, Street 2, and Lake Forest Boulevard, phase 2. Okay, let's talk about schools for a second. We have openings, rebuilds, and boundaries. Montgomery County Public Schools, or MCPS, tracks Crown High School, which is going to be new, Northwood High School, major expansion, and Woodward High School, a reopening for the 2027-2028 school year. Charles W. Woodward High School reopens September 2027, that's the projection, with about 2,200 capacity. It's currently the holding site for Northwood High School during Northwood's rebuild. Northwood High School has got a full modernization expansion to around 2,700 capacity. Schedule aligns with Woodward's reopening in 2027 projection. Crown High School in Gaithersburg is under construction, opening fall 2027 projection at 9410 Fields Road. Boundary work is underway. Here's a heads up. Boundary studies covering Woodward, Crown, Damascus expansion are active with initial options collected this summer. So keep an eye on the boundary studies page for meeting replays and draft options. Just a quick note, you guys, if you want a transcript of this whole video, if you want the script that I wrote when I researched everything, just send me an email and I'll send it all to you so you have all the information in writing with all the various links. Also, if you are new to moving to this area and you would like our help in helping you find a place to live, just send me an email, we'll set up a Zoom, we'll get you started. Okay, next update, housing rules. More choices on major corridors. In July 2025, the County Council approved ZTA 25-02, part of More Housing Now, New Options for Workers. It allows additional housing types, duplexes, triplexes, townhomes, and small apartment buildings capped at approximately 40 feet on lots fronting designated corridors in single-family zones with case-by-case review and workforce housing requirements above certain sizes. It's effective November 1st, 2025. Here's why it matters. It's a targeted way to add middle housing near jobs, transit, without upzoning entire neighborhoods. For the nitty-gritty on eligibility and affordability triggers, see the staff packet. Here's a quote from Councilman Friedson. The proposal is about more housing options for more people so that our teachers, firefighters, police officers, and nurses can afford to live in our community, said Council Member Friedson, chair of the Planning, Housing, and Parks Committee. The status quo clearly isn't working for workers, for our economic competitiveness, or for fulfilling our values as an inclusive, welcoming county. For a one-page overview and the corridor map, Council Member Friedson's page is useful. Next, we have some quick notes on ADUs and radon. An ADU, or an accessory dwelling unit in Montgomery County, attached or detached ADUs are permitted, policy modernized in 2019. If you rent one, you need a Class 3 rental license through DHCA, the Department of Housing and Community Affairs. The county outlines the fees and the process. Here's a tip. No extra on-site parking is required for ADUs within 1 mile of Metrorail, Purple Line, or the MARC train, which is helpful for lots near stations. As for radon, since July 1st, 2023, Montgomery County requires radon testing for rental units at or below grade before leasing, with disclosure and mitigation if at above EPA action levels. For home sales, MoCA requires a radon test disclosures as part of the transaction. Next, we have an update on White's Ferry. The long-closed Potomac River Ferry at Poolesville is still in limbo. In April 2025, Montgomery County floated a $3 million incentive to help break the stalemate between the Maryland ferry owner and the Virginia landing owner. Shortly after, the ferry owner offered to donate the ferry and assets to Loudoun County to help solve Virginia-side zoning issues after a grandfathered exemption expired. No reopening date yet, but negotiations continue. Okay, let's talk about what's happening with the Beltway and the American Legion Bridge. 495 next, Virginia's I-495 Express Lanes Northern Extension is on track to open the new express lanes in late 2025 with project completion in 2026. It also adds a shared use path and rebuilt bridges with sidewalks, nice for bike and pedestrian links towards Tyson's and the bridge area. On the Maryland side, MDOT, or Maryland Department of Transportation, just submitted a large bridge investment program, a BIP, grant application on August 1st, 2025 for the American Legion Bridge and I-270 multimodal improvements. That's federal funding help to replace, expand the bridge, and relieve the choke points. We got a couple updates on our downtown Bethesda parks. You'll soon get a string of new green spaces tied to the trail and the Purple Line. Capitol Crescent Civic Green, a new approximately 0.3 acre plaza park at Bethesda Road next to the CCT and future Bethesda Purple Line Station entrance. Bethesda Market Park replaces surface lots by the historic Farm Women's Market with a large park around 4 acres built over a new underground garage connecting into Elm Street Urban Park and Eastern Capitol Crescent Urban Greenway, multi-block linear parks connecting the trail deeper into downtown. These parks stitch right into the CCT, the Capitol Crescent Trail, and the Purple Line, so a car-free park day is going to be very doable. All right, we got one more, then a quick wrap up, and then I'm going to give you a whole page glossary of all the acronyms you can kind of take a screenshot of, so it'll help you when you're going through all this stuff. So finally, we've got the Strathmore Square, the Grosvenor-Strathmore Metro. Phase 1, the Revelle and Royal Buildings, has opened with a 1.25 acre park next to the Music Center at Strathmore. More housing and retail are planned in Phase 2, targeted for 2027. Perfect pre-concert meetup spots. All right, that is a lot in motion, so let's wrap it up real quick. Free buses countywide, a 2027 Purple Line with a safer CCT trail, meaning the Capitol Crescent Trail, multiple flash BRT lines queued up, new parks stitched right into downtown Bethesda, a diner meets tower in Silver Spring, Lakeforest full makeover, 3 high schools opening in 2027, which I know a lot of you really care about, And in real estate, we do too, because it does affect property value. Zoning that finally legalizes more middle housing in key corridors, and hopefully, big fixes coming to the Beltway bottleneck. If you guys found this helpful, please subscribe to our channel. I will keep tracking openings, construction, and any curveballs so you don't have to. Next, I'm gonna put up a screen with a glossary of all the acronyms. You can just take a screenshot of it and you can save it. And like I said earlier, if you want a transcript of this whole video so you have it all in front of you with all the links, email me, I'll send it to you. And if you are moving to the area and you would like our help, just send me an email. We'll set up a Zoom. We'll get you started. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye.